BVA Bulletin. Spring 2025. Volume 80, Number 1. Blinded Veterans Association. P.O. Box 90770. Washington, D.C. 20090. Telephone 800-669-7079, 202-371-8880. FAX 202-371-8258. Website bva.org. Email bva@bva.org. Published quarterly by and for blind and low vision veterans and their families. All versions of the publication are available without charge. The bulletin informs BVA members about their association and the issues that affect them. Editorial staff. Editor, Stuart Nelson. Associate Editor, Kylie Fitzgerald. Staff writers, Dr. Vernon Humphrey, Meredith Buono de Grossa, Dwayne Driscoll, Leah Rowe. Design, Pre-Press and Printing, Karen Smith. Design, Goats Printing. BVA National Officers. President, Paul Mimms, Kansas City, Missouri. Vice President, Wade Davis, LaPorte, Texas. Secretary, Tracy Farrow, Biloxi, Mississippi. Treasurer, Joseph Bogert, Meridian, Idaho. Director, District 1, John O'Connell, Toms River, New Jersey. Director, District 2, Annie Dixon, North Little Rock, EAR. Director, District 3, Douglas Ingram, Tallahassee, Florida. Director, District 4, Randy Cantrell, Spokane, Washington. Immediate past National President, Joseph D. McNeil, Senior Sergeant-at-Arms, Brian O'Connell, Greenville, South Carolina. National Chaplain, temporarily vacant. National Ombudsman, Tenora Lynn Shannon, St. Clair Shores, Michigan. National Judge Advocate, Stephen Butler, Temple, Texas. BVA Auxiliary. President, Robert Murphy, Manhattan, Kansas. Vice President, Sherry Harris Bates, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Secretary, Benjamin Holmes, Midland, Georgia. Treasurer, Karen Myron, St. George, Kansas. Reporter, Debbie Frick, San Angelo, Texas. National Office Staff. National Executive Director, Vernon Humphrey, Ph.D. National Development Director, Meredith Buono de Grossa. National Service Director, Dwayne Driscoll. Deputy National Service Director, Marlene Davis. Lilly. National Service Officer, Scott Quinlan. National Inspector General, Donald D. Overton, Jr. National Operations Director, Andrea Malmer. National Outreach Director, Teresa Galgano. National Communications Director, Stuart Nelson. National Communications Strategist, Steve Baskus. Deputy National Communications Director, Kylie Fitzgerald. National Administrative Coordinator, Micon Harrison. Webmaster, Jordan Chesley. In this issue, President's Page, by Paul Mimms, Legislative Update. By Leah Rowe, Executive Director's Message, by Vernon Humphrey. Destination Dallas, Yippee-Ki-Yay, by Meredith Buono de Grossa. Vernon Humphrey appointed new National Executive Director, BVA's link to Jimmy Carter administration. By Stuart Nelson. Around BVA, Auxiliaries View. By Debbie Frick. Veterans Service Program Update. By Dwayne Driscoll. Ways to Give New and Old. By Meredith Buono de Grossa. Wellness at 95. Our Powerful Brain and Exercise. By Pascal Bout. Of note, In Remembrance. Final thought. The cover of this issue depicts downtown Dallas at night. Atop a dark background is the following in white lettering: BVA 80th National Convention, July 5th to 11th, 2025. Dallas, Texas. The caption states, Downtown Dallas, Texas, site of the BVA 80th National Convention. July 5th to 11th offers this year's BVA contingent a beautiful art scene, urban green spaces, luxurious shopping, fine dining, vibrant nightlife, and excellence in hotel accommodations beginning with the popular Hyatt Regency Dallas. Highlights, details, and expectations relating to this historic Lone Star State Gathering Pack, this issue of the Bulletin. President's Page, by Paul Mimms. 2 photos accompany this section. One is a thumbnail head and shoulders shot of a formally dressed Paul Mimms in his BVA garrison cap. With that photo, there is no descriptive caption. With a name card in front of him, the second depicts him testifying before Congress. The caption states, Paul Mimms has delivered BVA's annual congressional testimony on 3 occasions, once in 2018 as National Vice President, pictured here, and twice as National President in 2024 and 2025. Paul's article reads as follows. As I gathered content for this issue of the Bulletin, we were also launching registration and details of our upcoming annual convention July 5th to 11th in Dallas, Texas. The convention will feature the celebration of our 80th anniversary. As most of you probably know, via the information we've put out in our BVA Happenings weekly newsletter, the official date of that anniversary was March 28th, but the bigger celebration together as an organization will occur in Dallas. The convention will also signal the end of my 2-year term as BVA National President. When I was elected, I sensed an urgency to begin bringing about some changes that I felt would benefit the organization and help point BVA in the right direction to fortify our future. I believe that I have met many of the goals I set for my term. The first and most important goal was to guide BVA back to being a member-driven organization. Much of that was accomplished by returning responsibility for and within regional groups to the members, increasing the transparency of the board of directors to the members, creating virtual town halls and other educational opportunities for members, taking the lead in making board members more available to assist association members along their path toward success, empowering members through programs that help them develop personally, creating increased opportunities for participation by greater numbers of members in pre-planned program events, increasing the number of members through the elimination of dues, empowering individual members in utilizing third-party voting, allowing all members to vote on all issues and candidates. In a statement of committed leadership, each member of our BVA Board of Directors donated to BVA to provide the impetus to an initiative for members to do the same. In addition, the Board of Directors has made decisions that have placed the organization in a more financially sound position with a more professional image in the veteran service organization and nonprofit communities. During my term of office, BVA has survived several iterations of itself and the way we have traditionally done things. We are now striving to improve and emerge stronger as members, having made the needed adjustments to compete in an environment that demands competency among its leadership and a membership that supports and can trust that leadership. I believe that BVA is well positioned to head into another 80 years of blinded veterans helping blinded veterans. Legislative Update by Leah Rowe. Navigating the Legislative Landscape, BVA Advocacy in Action. 2 photos also accompany this section. One is a thumbnail head and shoulders cut of Lee Rowe. The second one is a photo of Leah and Wade Davis standing together against an ornate background consisting of white pillars and other 19th century architectural decorum on the 2nd floor of an atrium. The thumbnail photo has no caption, but the second one states the following. Leah Rowe with National Vice President Wade Davis outside the congressional hearing room prior to February 25th BVA testimony. The section begins, as the federal legislative branch moves through a period of transition on Capitol Hill, BVA remains steadfast in its commitment to serve as an effective advocate on behalf of our members. Our recent national testimony before the Senate and House Committees on Veterans Affairs, delivered by National President Paul Mimms, underscored our dedication to ensuring equitable access and support for blinded veterans across the nation. This quarter, BVA is actively engaged in a range of legislative initiatives that address the diverse needs of the veteran community. A key focus is the Veterans Equal Access Act, H.R. 1147, which proposes the establishment of a Veterans Advisory Committee on Equal Access. This committee would play a crucial role in advising the Department of Veterans Affairs, VA, on accessibility matters, ensuring that blinded veterans have equal opportunities in all aspects of life. Simultaneously with our advocacy of H.R. 1147, BVA is closely monitoring and supporting several bills aimed at improving veteran transportation services, particularly for those in rural areas. These initiatives include S-827, S-784, and efforts to extend and modify VA's transportation grant program, as well as advocating for an increase in the mileage rate offered through the Beneficiary Travel Program, S-599. BVA's active participation in the ACES, Automated, Connected, Electric, Shared Mobility Coalition further underscores our commitment to the enhancement of mobility options for veterans with disabilities. Additionally, the organization is advocating for the passage of the Service Dogs Assisting Veterans Act, SAVES, to protect the access rights of guide dogs and service dogs. Healthcare remains of paramount concern. BVA is advocating for enhanced clinical standards within VA's caregiver program, ensuring that caregivers receive the necessary training and support to provide quality care. Furthermore, the organization is committed to safeguarding and increasing funding for VA Blind Rehabilitation Service, BRS, recognizing its essential role in veteran rehabilitation. Maintaining high standards of ocular clinical care is also a priority, and BVA is working to ensure that blinded veterans receive the best possible eye care. Recognizing the importance of mental health, the organization is advocating for improved mental health services, particularly for women veterans. Additionally, BVA is supporting efforts to increase funding for vision research, which is critical for developing future treatments. The DMEPOS Relief Act of 2025, H.R. 2005, reintroduced by Representative Marionette Miller Meeks, R. Iowa 1st, aims to provide funding relief to home medical equipment providers, ensuring continued access to essential medical supplies for veterans. VA is also deeply committed to honoring combat-disabled veterans. The reintroduced Major Richard Starr Act seeks to allow combat-disabled uniformed services retirees with fewer than 20 years of service to concurrently receive Veterans Disability Compensation and Retired Pay, or Combat-Related Special Compensation, CRSC. BVA is actively seeking co-sponsors for this vital legislation, emphasizing that CRSC is distinct from Concurrent Retirement and Disability Pay, CRDP. The Veterans Sport Act, H.R. 1971, aims to provide VA coverage for prosthetic limbs used in sports and recreational activities, recognizing their importance in maintaining physical and mental well-being. BVA is also actively involved in the prosthetics work group to ensure that veterans have access to the necessary prosthetic devices. Other key initiatives include supporting H.R. 2138, which proposes to increase disability compensation rates, advocating for the Feed Hungry Veterans Act to address food insecurity, working to ensure justice for Camp Lejeune victims, and actively participating in the implementation of the PACT Act. BVA is also engaged with the VA 508 Workgroup on Technology Accessibility, collaborating with the Friends of VA Medical Care and Health Research, contributing to the American Foundation for the Blind AI Advisory Group, participating in the Autonomous Vehicle Coalition, and working with the Military Coalition and Independents through enhancement of Medicare and Medicaid. Item: Coalition to advance veteran legislation. Despite the complexities and many moving pieces in the current legislative environment, we remain optimistic about the future. By maintaining a steadfast commitment to our mission, fostering strong partnerships, and amplifying the voices of our members, we are confident that we can achieve meaningful progress. We will continue to work tirelessly, driven by the hope that our efforts will create a more equitable and supportive environment for all blinded veterans, ensuring that they have the resources and opportunities they deserve in order to thrive. Executive Director's Message by Dr. Vernon Humphrey. Another 2 photos have been placed with this message from the new Executive Director. One is a thumbnail head and shoulders photo of Vern, and the second one depicts 3 men and a guide dog with a wreath that is being carried mostly by the gentleman in the middle of the group. The first photo is without a caption, but the second photo is described thus. Vernon Humphrey, center, took the lead in guiding Lawrence Harrison and Paul Mimms in a procession toward the tomb of the unknown soldier at last November's Veterans Day, VSO wreath laying. All three were assisted by guide dog Shadow at Paul's left. The article begins. Greetings to what I now consider to be my BVA family. It is truly an honor to take the reins from Don Overton as the next National Executive Director of the finest veteran service organization I know of. Over the past 80 years, BVA has been the leader in blind veteran advocacy. Although we have come a long way, the road ahead is still long and challenging. I know that together, we can and will continue to lead the way. I believe that our executive directors of the past have done an exceptional job but would not have been successful without the support of the membership, board of directors, and staff. I have the privilege of assuming command of a well-run, forward-thinking group. Many leaders are not afforded the opportunity of working with a body of individuals who understand mission first and service before self, as BVA does. During my military career, I detested it when new leadership stepped in and everything immediately changed. I found that the best way to lead is to watch, listen, and ask. I have the utmost respect and belief in our staff and key members, and in their judgment. I will have many questions in the future and know I will always get a straight answer, not the answer they may think I want to hear. Thank you for your belief in me. I will do my utmost not to let you down, and I will always be honest with you. Please promise that you will hold my feet to the fire. If you feel you need to, please feel free to contact me at any time. Destination Dallas, Yippee-ki-yay, photos. By Meredith Buono de Grossa. 5 photos supplement this section of the bulletin. The first reveals one of the most popular areas of downtown Dallas. The caption reads, "Perhaps the one must-visit neighborhood for BVA convention attendees. The Dallas Arts District in the northeast corner of downtown Dallas unifies culture and commerce into the largest contiguous arts district in the United States." Photo, courtesy of Visit Dallas. The second photo is an indoor side view of a family inside what appears to be a shopping mall. The caption states, "Located 7 miles from downtown Dallas, North Park Center offers a quick getaway from the convention hustle and bustle with perhaps the top shopping experience of the southwestern United States." The mall consists of 200 retailers that include luxury boutiques, trend-setting clothing stores, restaurants, and movie theaters. Photo, courtesy of Visit Dallas. The third of the 4 photos displays a room that would be dark, if not filled with spotlights that illuminate depictions of prehistoric animals. The caption reads, "A short Uber ride at midday will take convention attendees to Victory Park, site of the Perot Museum of Nature and Science." The museum explores both modern technology and natural history, from technical innovations at Texas Instruments to prehistoric Texan wildlife. Photo courtesy of Visit Dallas. The fourth photo connected to the article shows a building at either dusk or dawn that appears to cover at least one city block and perhaps more. The building is tall only in the middle. Most of the light emanating from the structure comes from that middle portion. The caption reads, "Night view of the Hall of State, formerly known as the State of Texas Building." The Hall of State is home to the Dallas Historical Society and holds several of the most breathtaking Art Deco designs in the world. The venue is open to the public from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday and 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday. Photo, courtesy of Visit Dallas. A fifth and final photo, the smallest of the 5, reveals a daytime view of the swimming pool at the Hyatt Regency Dallas. The photo is void of any people. The caption states, "Located on the 3rd floor, surrounded by a sun deck with lounge chairs and tables, the Hyatt Regency's outdoor splash pool is open year-round and accessible to people with disabilities. The pool is open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily." The section begins, "Pursuant to the provisions of Article 4, Section 3 of the National Bylaws, all members of the Blinded Veterans Association, BVA, are hereby notified that the association's 80th National Convention will be held at the Hyatt Regency Dallas, 300 Reunion Boulevard, Dallas, Texas, 75207, from Saturday, July 5 through Friday, July 11th, 2025. BVA is partnering with the American Council of the Blind, ACB, in hosting this historic gathering. Planning and preparation are now in full swing as members of the BVA Board of Directors, headquarters staff, and volunteers prepare for the BVA 80th National Convention at the Hyatt Regency Dallas in the great city of Dallas, Texas. Official dates for this year's gathering, carried out in partnership and conjunction with the annual convention of the American Council of the Blind, ACB, are July 5th to 11th, 2025. Dallas is an emerging global metropolis that proudly anchors the North Texas region, the nation's fourth-largest metropolitan area. The city's own Convention and Visitors Bureau refers to Dallas as a diverse and vibrant destination, offering a unique combination of future-facing, innovative audacity, and rich cultural heritage. Explore your own maverick can-do spirit in Dallas. Pack your curiosity and prepare to wander these larger-than-life streets, where you'll discover a thriving arts and culture scene, iconic sports, creative culinary experiences, and warm and welcoming hospitality that will make you say, "Whoa." The hidden gems of Dallas are bigger, bolder, and with just the right amount of swagger. BVA registration, which opened in April, costs $200 per BVA member. Auxiliary members, guests, and non-members will also pay the same $200 registration fee. All registrations must be completed online at bva.org. The cost includes a convention bag, a t-shirt, a cowboy hat, entrance to a joint ACB-BVA exhibit hall, entrance to business meetings, the Tuesday evening BVA gala, and the Wednesday afternoon Father Carol luncheon. The most recent version of the scheduled events is currently at bva.org/national convention. Registration information. BVA members and guests can register and pay online on the aforementioned National Convention page of the BVA website. Please note that listed off-site trips and some internal events have an additional fee. Off-site trips for BVA members are available on a first-come, first-served basis and have limited availability. Alternatively, members and guests can register by calling 202-371-8880 and speaking with the National Administrative Coordinator or the National Outreach Director, or by emailing membership at bva.org. The deadline to register for the convention itself is June 20th, 2025. Although the registration deadline is June 20th, BVA National Headquarters highly encourages members to register earlier to ensure accurate counts on t-shirts, meals, etc. Due to manpower limitations, if you require special assistance of a caregiver, you will be required to make those arrangements and register them as a guest. Hotel information. The BVA room rate at the Hyatt Regency Dallas starts at $99 per night, plus a 15% room tax and a $2 tourism public improvement district tax. The hotel offers complimentary standard Wi-Fi in guest rooms and social spaces, refrigerators and K-cup coffee makers in each room, use of outdoor pool, and a 24-hour fitness center. The hotel will authorize a one-time $50 charge for the entire stay. Each attendee will need to supply a credit or debit card for the room. The card will not be charged but authorized only for that amount. In the case of a debit card, the funds will be held by the bank until after the guest checks out if the amount in full is not used. You can reserve your hotel room online at https://www.hyatt.com/NUS Group, booking JXRJG ACOB, or call 800-233-1234 and use code GAMCB. To receive the group rate, you must register prior to June 10, 2025. Dining options include the Coffee's Post, Centennial, Mondules, and Perinos. Dining to go is also available. Self-parking in the outdoor Radish lot, located at the intersection of Hotel Street and Reunion Boulevard West, is $30 per day. This fee includes in-out privileges for overnight guests only. Valet parking is available at the hotel entrance for $50 plus tax per day. This fee includes in-out privileges and overnight stay. Hourly fee varies if not staying overnight. Way Around will again provide accessible descriptions of the hotel at this year's BVA gathering. Scan a Way sign, located underneath ADA signs, with your iPhone or Android device to access a directory of all the spaces used by BVA at the hotel. Be sure to download the free Way Around app for iOS or Android 2 to access the descriptions. Plans with NaviLens are also underway to provide accessible descriptions of the exhibit hall. Transportation to the hotel. Please note that a shuttle will not be provided. You will be required to arrange transportation to and from the airport. When you finalize your travel plans, please send your itinerary to Margarine Beeman at olio501625@outlook.com. As always, Margarine will assist with navigation to the best of her ability. For additional transportation options, visit the National Convention page. Travel information. For travel assistance, please contact Brenda K. McDaniel, independent travel consultant and daughter of a BVA member, by email at brendamcdaniel@sbcglobal.net or by telephone at 915-204-0101 between 11 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Frequently asked questions. What is the member cancellation policy? Fully refundable registration cancellations will be honored through June 21st, 2025 at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. How do I sign up for off-site events, tours, and activities? Off-site tours and pricing are available on the BVA registration page. Please note that participation is on a first-come, first-served basis and is limited. Discounted prices are for BVA members only. Will someone meet me at the airport or train station? Volunteers may be available to assist BVA members and guests at the airport. When you finalize your travel plans, please send your itinerary to Margarine Beeman at olio501625@outlook.com, who will be assisting with navigation with the assistance of available volunteers. Is there a shuttle from the airport to the hotel? Number members should plan to use an Uber or Lyft to and from the airport at their own expense. A taxi may be more expensive. There are 2 airports in the metro area. Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, DFW, is 23 miles from the hotel. The recommended airport is Dallas Love Field, which is 5 miles from the hotel. The Megabus stop and Greyhound station, 205 Lamar Street, are both within easy travel distance of the Hyatt Regency. Amtrak comes to Dallas's Union Station, 400 South Houston, and is located half a mile from the hotel. Union Station is served by the DART Light Rail's Red or Blue Line. Guests can take either the Red or Blue Line, $3, from the airport to Union Station. There is an underground concourse attached to the hotel, 5-minute walk. AIDA transportation is also available through paratransit services. Do the hotel rooms have refrigerators for my medications? Yes. All rooms are equipped with a small refrigerator. How do I rent a wheelchair or scooter? If you would like to rent a wheelchair or scooter, call Andrew Fulton Dallas Mobility Rentals at 214-506-0526. Weekly scooter rentals are $139 and wheelchairs, any size, are $79. They will be delivered to the hotel on Thursday, July 3rd and picked up on Friday, July 11th. You must call in advance to order your wheelchair or scooter. Once you have placed your order, email Janet Dickelman, ACB Convention Coordinator, at janet.dickelman@gmail.com so she can maintain a list to ensure that all wheelchairs and scooters have been received. What dining options are available at the hotel? The hotel has on-site restaurants with breakfast, lunch, and dinner options. Is there a dog relief area and a way to pre-order food for my guide dog? Yes. Scoop Masters will provide and maintain our dog relief areas. If you would like to pre-order dog food to be delivered to your hotel room, call Tim Stone at 661-714-0749 or order online at https://scoopmasters.com/acb. Food must be ordered by June 20th to ensure delivery. Also, backed by popular demand, the Bow Wow Lounge, sponsored by Waymo, will serve as a respite area for our canine heroes throughout the convention. What is the plan in the event of a fire drill or emergency? Volunteers and hotel staff will orient members to the emergency exits, stairwells, and assembly areas near their rooms. Any further questions can be answered at the convention. What meals are included in my registration fee? Tuesday, coffee and pastries will be available during the 5:08 Accessibility Fireside Chat. Tuesday, evening dinner will be provided at the BVA Gala. Wednesday, the Father Carol Luncheon and Awards Ceremony will offer a midday meal. Thursday, off-site trip includes lunch. Friday, off-site trip includes dinner. What if I have additional questions? If you have any additional questions or comments, please contact your district director, the National Administrative Coordinator, the National Outreach Director, or email membership@bva.org. We are excited to celebrate with y'all in Dallas. Important dates and deadlines. May 6th. Proposed bylaw amendments must be received by BVA National Headquarters. Amendments should be emailed to membership@bva.org. May 21st. Proposed bylaw amendments will be posted at bva.org in BVA Happenings and via BVA's social media platforms. May 30th. Deadline for submitting names to both Rules and Bylaws committees. June 2nd. Commencement of electronic voting with Vote Now. June 10th. Final date to reserve a room at the Hyatt Regency Dallas using the group code. June 27th. Virtual Rules and Credentials Meeting. July 2nd. Last day for paper ballots to be received and accepted by Vote Now. July 9th. Vote Now election closes at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. July 11th. Election results announced in person by BVA National President at Convention. Second chance for site to support. Convention off-site activities. The significance of the word milestone cannot be emphasized enough when it comes to BVA's official 80th birthday and the upcoming National Convention. Registration is now open, and excitement continues to build. The camaraderie to be felt among attendees during off-site trips to the 6th Street Museum, AT&T Stadium, and Circle R Ranch will be well worth the purchase price and effort to participate. BVA extends a special thank you to the Second Chance for Sight Foundation and the Sindoni family for their generous donation to help keep these events an affordable option for our blind and low vision veterans. More information is available on the National Convention webpage. BVA 80th National Convention. Hyatt Regency Dallas. Tentative schedule of events as of May 19th, July 5th to 11th, 2025. BVA services available throughout Convention Week. 1. Waymo Bow. Wow Lounge, Monday, Friday. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., room to be announced. 2. Nurses' Office, Monday, Friday, time and room to be announced. 3. Veteran Service Program, Claims Office, Sunday, Thursday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Friday, 9:00 a.m. to 1 p.m., Baker Room every day. Saturday, July 5th. Agenda. Room. 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. ACB Opening Ceremony. Reunion, Lobby Level. Sunday, July 6th. Agenda. Room. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Exhibit Hall Open. Landmark Ballroom, Lobby Level. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. BVA Registration, Pegasus, Lobby Level. 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. BVA Orientation, Landmark D, Lobby Level. 11:15 a.m. to 1:15 p.m. Sound Bowl. Session. Holistic Healing and Relaxation / Dallas. V. Erect Therapy. Robert Hampton and Amer Aguilera. Gaston A and B, Atrium Level. 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Emerging Technologies. Navigation Seminar. Meta, Navilens, Way Around, We Walk, Biped. Cumberland K and L, Exhibition Level. Monday, July 7th. Agenda. Room. 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. BVA Opening Ceremony. Speaker, the Honorable Douglas A. Collins, Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Cumberland K and L, Exhibition Level. 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. BVA Registration. Pegasus, Lobby Level. 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Opening Business Meeting / National Staff Reports. Cumberland K and L, Exhibition Level. 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. BVA Auxiliary. Opening business meeting. Aerial Queen, 3rd level. 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Exhibit hall open. Landmark ballroom, lobby level. 12:15 p.m. to 4 p.m. Off-site trip, 6th floor museum. Meet in Landmark D, lobby level. 1 बजे दोपहर से 3 बजे दोपहर तक. District caucus. Meetings/district directors. Cumberland F, District 1. Cumberland H, District 2. Cumberland K, District 3. Cumberland L, District 4, exhibition level. 4:15 p.m. to 5:15 p.m. Learn about Team BVA interest groups, adaptive sports, book club, and dog handler. Cumberland K and L, exhibition level. 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Hospitality Suite. Hosted by Greater Houston Regional Group. Presidential Suite to be determined. Tuesday, July 8th. Agenda. Room. 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Dog walk to be determined. 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Fireside chat/508. Compliance accessing VA systems. Coffee/pastries served. Moderated by Matt Ader, Senior Vice President of Business Development, Vispero. Cumberland K and L, exhibition level. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. BVA Auxiliary. New business and adjournment. Aerial Queen, 3rd level. 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. Town Hall/Department of Veterans Affairs. Blind Rehabilitation and Prosthetic Services. Nikki Sandlin, National Program Director. Cumberland K and L, exhibition level. 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Exhibit hall open. Landmark ballroom, lobby level. 1 बजे दोपहर से 2:30 तक. Learn BVA, Veteran Service Program Ambassador Program and Development. Cumberland K and L, exhibition level. 2:45 p.m. to 4:15 p.m. Music Therapy, Ruth Hook. MTBC, MBA. Music Therapist, North Texas, VAHCS. Cumberland K and L, exhibition level. 4:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Hospitality Suite in lieu of happy hour. Hosted by Greater Houston Regional Group. Presidential Suite to be determined. 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. BVA Gala. Cumberland F, GH, exhibition level. Wednesday, July 9th. Agenda. Room. 8 a.m. to 9:15 a.m. Ambassador breakfast sponsored by OrCam. Active ambassadors only. Cumberland FGH exhibition level. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Exhibit hall hours. Landmark ballroom, lobby level. 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Cooking seminar. The Blind Kitchen and Way Around. Deb Erickson, executive chef and founder. Neva Fairchild, Way Around. Director of Business Development. Cumberland K and L, exhibition level. 12:30 p.m. to 2:15 p.m. Father Carol Luncheon and Awards Ceremony. Irving Diener and Recruiter of the Year Awards. Sponsored by New Eyes Technologies. Regina Chapman, President of Operations. Cumberland FGH exhibition level. 2 p.m. Vote now. Elections and bylaws close. 3 p.m. Eastern. Not applicable. 2:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Meet the Board of Directors and Executive Director. Cumberland K and L, exhibition level. 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Hospitality Suite. Hosted by Greater Houston Regional Group. Presidential Suite to be determined. Thursday, July 10th. Agenda. Room. 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. BVA Buds. Let your garden grow. Monique Statham, Gardening Group Facilitator. Cumberland FGH exhibition level. 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Training for regional groups and vice presidents, secretary and treasurers with board of directors. Brian/Beeman, atrium level Moreno, atrium level. 11:45 a.m. to 3:45 p.m. Off-site trip, AT&T Stadium VIP Tour, home of America's team, Dallas Cowboys. Meet in Landmark D lobby level. 1 बजे दोपहर से 2:30 तक. VA Health and Benefits app. Martha Wilkes, Virginia Accessibility Strategist Tracy Farrow, National Secretary. Gaston B, Atrium level. BVA Auxiliary. Tricky Trey, prizes awarded. Ariel Queen, 3rd level. 3 p.m. to 4:15 p.m. Town Hall Electronic Health Records. Oracle Health. Cumberland, FGH. Exhibition level. 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Hospitality Suite in lieu of happy hour, hosted by Greater Houston Regional Group. Presidential Suite to be determined. Friday, July 11th. Agenda. Room. 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Closing business meeting. Announcement and swearing in of elected officers, results of bylaw elections, new business, and closing remarks. Cumberland K and L, exhibition level. 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Tai Chi/Qigong session dash. Weibin Yang, MD, MS, MBA. Chief, Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation Service. VA North Texas Healthcare System. Moreno, atrium level. 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Off-site, Trip Circle. R Ranch, Texas BBQ. Meet in Landmark D lobby level. Recreational and instructional convention activities. 3 off-site activities and 1 on-site activity conducted at the hotel are available on a first-come, first-served basis. Attendance is limited. Date: Monday, July 7th, 2025. Time: 12:15 to 4 p.m. Price: $25 per person. Location: the 6th floor museum at Dealey Plaza chronicles the assassination and legacy of President John F. Kennedy. Experience a private presentation led by curator Stephen Fagan in the museum's auditorium, formerly the seat of county government, followed by a screening of an oral history clip compilation. In addition, attendees will enjoy an overview of the early 1960s, the corner window, and the subsequent investigations, including the area where the rifle was found. Date: Wednesday, July 9th, 2025. Time: 9:30 to 11 a.m. Price: $10 per person. Each participant will receive a $25 gift card to the Blind Kitchen location. Hyatt Regency, Cumberland K and L on exhibition level. Learn cooking tips and tricks from Deborah Erickson, the executive chef and founder of the Blind Kitchen. In addition, discover labeling techniques with way-around tags from Neva Fairchild, Director of Business. Sight loss should not be a barrier to cooking, regardless of your position on the blindness spectrum. Everyone has a place at the table in the Blind Kitchen. Date: Thursday, July 10th, 2025. Time: 11:45 to 3:45 p.m. Price: $25 per person. Location: AT&T Stadium. VIP Tour, home of America's team. The Dallas Cowboys. Participants will be treated to a VIP guided tour offering a comprehensive view of the stadium. Tour includes behind-the-scenes to off-limits locations like the Cowboys and cheerleaders' locker rooms, post-game interview room, media press box, Cotton Bowl headquarters, luxury suite, the Cowboys field, and more. Enjoy a 3-course meal, 1 drink ticket, and a complimentary professional photo for each group member. Date: Friday, July 11th, 2025. Time: 4 to 8 p.m. Price: $10. Location: Circle R Ranch. 80th BBQ and line dancing. Celebrate BVA's 80 years of service to blind and low vision veterans. Pull on your boots and get ready to kick up your heels on a Wild West experience which begins the moment you enter the ranch. Enjoy an authentic Texas BBQ and Texas fun line dancing. Yippee-ki-yay! A wonderful milestone. BVA 80th National Convention. By Warner Murray. New York Regional Group. The New York Regional Group is on the way to the 80th convention of the BVA. The Hyatt Regency Hotel, plenty of space, downtown Dallas, Texas, a wonderful place. Family, caregivers, members, and friends. This is a milestone of our yearly trend. National Board, headquarters, and staff continued the excellence in executing this draft. We will be there in the Texas hot sun. The ranch barbecue send-off will be fun. Wonderful excursions, theater, diners, and more. Meetings, conferences, caucuses, just like before. This is a milestone. Come help celebrate. Make your reservations now to the Longhorn State. We will be there, my comrades and me, enjoying the partnership with the ACB. This is the place they're recognizing the blind. Come, my comrades, let's have a good time. Did you know? Richard G. Dick Fazakerley, BVA's 30th national president from 1995 to 97, retired from the U.S. Army in 1981 at the rank of Major General. He was elected national president at the completion of BVA's milestone 50th National Convention in Washington, D.C. His first president's page in the September 1995 BVA Bulletin recapped the six-day event. It was a great experience for all attendees from start to finish. It was a time for reviving memories of the Blinded Veterans Association's humble beginnings and its spirited and sound objectives for the future. Highlights of the convention focused on BVA history, traditions, and the service of our founders. Presentations at the convention's opening ceremonies by Russ Williams and Warren Bledsoe set the tone, as did the awarding of specially minted BVA medallions to founding fathers or members of the families of those who have already passed on. It was a great sight. They were proud, and we were inspired by the occasion. I think the challenge for us as we pass our 50th anniversary is to lead the way and carry on with the same courage and spirit we saw in those that preceded us. Vernon Humphrey appointed. New National Executive Director. A photo of Vern and Paul Mimms, which appears to have been taken during the autumn season, accompanies this section. Formally dressed next to a flower wreath, Vern is also holding a white cane in place. A small desktop flag is seen protruding from the inside pocket of the suit coat he is wearing. Paul, with garrison cap firmly on his head, has a pronounced smile while Vern continues to sport a more serious look. The article reads, "The BVA National Board of Directors has announced the appointment of Vernon F. Humphrey, P.D., as the association's 17th National Executive Director. Vernon's new assignment is effective immediately." Vernon became active in BVA after enrolling in the Ambassador Training course. During the intensive training in 2021, he learned more about the organization, which lit a fire in him to participate at a much higher level. He attended his first national convention in August 2022 in Washington, D.C., and decided to never miss another one. "The camaraderie I missed from being a soldier was here within BVA all along," he said. Vernon resigned from teaching university courses in December 2023 and became a contractor for BVA, focusing on the ambassador program. When additional duties came along, he accepted them. He began working full-time at BVA in May of 2024 as the National Program Coordinator and has never looked back. Born in Frankfurt, Germany, in 1960 as an Army brat, Vernon traveled with his father's career. As he grew, he said, his hero was his dad, and he wished to become like him, a retired command sergeant major. Vernon's original plans were to attend college after high school graduation at age 16. He wanted to study civil engineering and then do survey work for a living. His plans were soon altered slightly when he enlisted in the Army with a delayed entry in September 1978 as a biomedical equipment repair technician. Vernon began his career in Pasadena, Texas on June 12, 1979, with 10 weeks of basic training occurring at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, followed by an assignment as a Military Occupational Specialty, MOS, 35G Geospatial Intelligence Imagery Analyst at Fitzsimons Army Medical Center, FAMC, in Denver, Colorado. These were followed by assignments at then Eisenhower Army Medical Center at Fort Gordon, Georgia, and as an advanced biomedical equipment repair technician at the 97th General Hospital in Frankfurt, Germany. Then came 6 years of teaching advanced individual training at FAMC. Vernon served at the 34th General Hospital in Augsburg, Germany, as the non-commissioned officer in charge, NCOIC, acting chief of medical maintenance, during Desert Storm. He was one of 5 not deployed to augment field hospitals during Operation Desert Storm, and was licensed to drive all vehicles in the motor pool, including buses, and was a certified instructor for all. For considerable time, I was legally blind and didn't know it, he said. When I was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa and became legally blind in 1992 with a 10-degree visual field, the doctor told me I was blind, and I responded that I thought blindness was total darkness, proving how limited my knowledge was about blindness. At the 2nd General Hospital in Landstuhl, Germany, deployed as senior maintenance advisor to Operation Provide Hope de Sound to Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, Vernon served on a humanitarian aid mission that managed the transportation of $13 million worth of medical equipment. He was also in charge of the distribution, installation, and training associated with the equipment. Additionally, he coordinated humanitarian missions to Moscow, Russia, Alma-Ata, Kazakhstan, and to Tbilisi, Georgia, as the NCOIC and Acting Chief of Medical Maintenance and Medical Equipment Advisor for the 7th U.S. Army Medical Command. During his final assignment as the NCOIC/Acting Chief of Medical Maintenance at Martin Army Community Hospital in Fort Benning, Georgia, he was medically retired as a Master Sergeant E8 on January 17, 1999. Vernon's awards and decorations consist of the Legion of Merit Meritorious Service Medal, the Army Commendation Medal, 1 OLC, the Army Achievement Medal, 1 OLC, Good Conduct, Medal 5 Knots, National Defense Service Medal, Humanitarian Aid Service Medal, Non-Commissioned Professional Development, Ribbon 3, Army Service Ribbon, Overseas Service Ribbon 2, das Abzeichen für Leistungen im Truppendienst, German Military Proficiency Badge Gold, and the Army Superior Unit Award. Vernon joined BVA in 1999 as a member shortly after his medical retirement. Although he had never heard of the organization, a BVA National Service Officer at the time took on his case and got him 100% service-connected instead of the 30% he had been offered for depression. His BVA membership coincided with the help he had received. Because of his vision problems and medical retirement, he had an advantage most do not, that of spending a few years watching his children grow. VA offered to send me back to school to become a productive member of society, and, after a battery of tests, I chose secondary school math, he said. I actually wanted to teach science, but a friend told me blind guys and Bunsen burners don't go together well. After taking a course in public speaking, Vernon changed his major to communication, graduating from Georgia's Columbus State University, CSU, in 2005 with a Bachelor of Arts. He realized at that point that he loved learning and decided to enroll in a master's program in counseling at CSU. However, he soon realized, after many years of being a non-commissioned officer and a father, that counseling was not the right choice. Not wanting to stop learning, however, he enrolled in the University of Southern Mississippi and began a PhD program in communication with a focus on interpersonal and intercultural communication. For his dissertation, he researched how couples change their communication patterns when one of them becomes blind. Brenda, Vernon's wife of 42 years, and he returned to Columbus, Georgia, to be near their 3 children and grandchildren as he completed his PhD and taught as an adjunct professor at CSU, Georgia Military College, and Chattahoochee Valley Community College. During the same period, he published 10 papers and made presentations at international, national, and state conferences. He was also the Chief Financial Officer of the American Communication Association and an inspector for the university's Communication Department Accreditation Compliance Office. Vernon also began serving as the chair of the board of directors of a local nonprofit organization, the Disability Service Center, in 2013, where he became active in advocacy for people with disabilities. He joined the National Federation of the Blind in 2013, where he met people to interview for his dissertation. He joined Rotary International in 2014 and further grew to understand service before self. Vernon offered the following about his recent interpersonal relationships at BVA and the upcoming opportunity to serve as executive director. I am honored to be selected as the next National Executive Director of BVA. Don Overton has been an exceptional leader and mentor. and he is leaving big shoes to fill. I know from observation and history that leaders cannot lead alone. I look forward to gaining insight and wisdom from the staff, board of directors, and membership, without whom there would be no BVA. Although I am legally blind, I have sight through the voices of our membership. Together we will grow and improve the greatest blind veteran organization in the world. BVA's Link to Jimmy Carter Administration by Stuart Nelson. With the passing of President Jimmy Carter on December 29, 2024, BVA looks back to a connection the association had to the 39th president 46 years ago. An accompanying photo is described by its caption as follows: BVA member Dennis Wyant was Deputy Assistant Secretary of Labor for Veterans Employment during the second half of the Carter administration. The brief article reads thus: Past National President Dennis R. Wyant, Ed.D., also a past BVA National Field Service Director, and today a member of the Florida Regional Group, was appointed and confirmed by the Senate as the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Labor for Veterans Employment after numerous important responsibilities leading up to the appointed position, including Assistant to Administrator of Veterans Affairs Max Cleland, more than a decade before VA was a cabinet-level department. Dennis was sworn into office on March 26, 1979, at a special ceremony sponsored by BVA and other leading veteran service organizations at the time. The BVA Bulletin of January-February-March 1979 reported attendance of more than 300 persons at the ceremony. Dennis grew up in southern Missouri and received a Bachelor of Science degree from Southwest Missouri State. While undergoing flight training in the Navy during the 1960s, he experienced an unexplained loss of sight in one eye. Although the sudden turn of events ended his career as a naval aviator, Dennis demonstrated the drive of many BVA members, launching a new career as a computer salesperson for the National Cash Register Company. After losing his sight in the second eye, Dennis earned an MBA from Wright State University and a doctorate in adult and vocational education from the University of Cincinnati. The latter degree was bestowed while Dennis was serving as BVA's National Field Service Director from 1973 to 1975. The title of his doctoral dissertation was The Job Search for the Severely Visually Impaired and Totally Blinded Veterans of the Vietnam Era. In addition to his election as BVA National President, he served as National Vice President, National Secretary, and President of the then Maryland, D.C., Virginia Regional Group. He is also a published author on articles relating to the employment of the disabled. Around BVA, Paul Mimms Visits Capitol Hill presents BVA Legislative Priorities. Two photos grace this subsection of Around BVA. The first shows a formally dressed Paul Mimms, including garrison cap, seated, and with his left hand on a microphone. A placard with his name and BVA affiliation, as well as a water bottle, have been placed in front of him. Other formally dressed people are seen faintly in the background. The caption states Paul Mimms sets for delivery of BVA testimony during February 25th Capitol Hill OFI-SO hearing. A second photo of Paul and Michonne Harrison has also been placed next to the blurb. Michonne with her cane and Paul with guide dog Shadow on a leash. The caption describes the photo as follows: Administrative Coordinator Michonne Harrison, Paul Mimms, and guide dog Shadow outside BVA National Headquarters in Alexandria, Virginia, moments prior to departing for congressional testimony in Cannon House Office Building. Additional details are described in the blurb as follows. BVA National President Paul Mimms summarized the association's legislative priorities for fiscal year 2025 in testimony before a joint session of the House and Senate Committees on Veterans Affairs on February 25th. Chronicling for the committees. A day in the life of a blinded veteran in keeping an appointment at a VA health facility, and using himself as the example, Paul outlined several ways in which America's blind and low vision veterans continue to be underserved and disenfranchised. View Paul's full testimony presented in panel format at https://VeteransHouse.gov calendar event single ASPX event ID E6645 and/or read the full written testimonies submitted for the congressional record at https://bva.org Services Advocacy. His oral presentation begins at 2:10:40 on the video recording. The question and answer period, of which Paul is a participant, begins at 2:34:46. In Brussels, Overton demonstrates BVA's emerging global reach. On February 4th, Meta's European Union Innovation Day 2025 brought together policymakers, technology leaders, and businesses for a series of panel discussions and product demonstrations in Brussels, Belgium. Don Overton represented BVA and the disability community on several levels internationally. Don was part of a panel discussion entitled Right to Access: Shaping Policies to Unlock Assistive Technology in Europe, where he addressed the potential of artificial intelligence for people with disabilities and the importance of access to assistive devices and specific technologies originating from the principles of basic human rights. The panel also discussed the ethical and legal challenges faced by assistive technology developers when introducing products to the markets, including affordability, data availability, and the privacy of both users and the public. Innovation Day 2025 highlighted European small and mid-size enterprises, startups, and creators building with open-source AI. It also provided a platform for tech leaders and policymakers to exchange views on shaping Europe's digital future in 2025 and beyond. Meta, formerly the Facebook company, builds the future of human connection and the technology that makes it possible. Watch a series of sound bites from interviews with Meta's guest participants, including one from Dawn, at https://euractiv.com/tech video. Meta EU Innovation Day 2025. BVA welcomes new legislative director. The accompanying photo was taken in a large hearing room of the House Veterans Affairs Committee. The 5 subjects of the photo are lined up side by side. 4 of the 5 are blinded veterans, 2 of whom are standing with white canes and 1 of whom is seen with a black guide dog. The caption reads, Leah Rowe, far right, followed right to left by new BVA colleagues Wade Davis, Paul Mimms, Maishan Harrison, and Don Overton. The Around BVA entry begins. Leah Rowe has joined BVA as the most recent addition to the national headquarters staff, bringing with her 20 years of experience in nonprofit management, including her recent tenure as head of client services at Lighthouse for the Blind of Fort Worth, Texas. Her BVA arrival on January 27th fortuitously coincided with the composition of the written version of the annual testimony submitted to Congress in late February. With a deep passion for serving the blind and low vision community, Leah is committed to advocating for the needs of blind and low vision veterans. She earned a bachelor's degree in public health from the University of Texas at Tyler and will graduate in June with a master's degree in low vision therapy, at the same time receiving certification as a low vision therapist. Lonnie Bedwell climbs Mount Vinson, arrives at South Pole after 70 miles on skis. A photo reveals an almost unrecognizable Lonnie Bedwell due to the massive apparel he's wearing to keep warm, most noticeably attached to his head. He is seen standing in a snowpack next to a lantern of some type that is attached to a pole. Behind Lonnie are 4 flags, all from different countries. The caption states, proving over and over that the seemingly impossible is never out of reach, Lonnie Bedwell marks his arrival at the South Pole last December 15th. The short article begins with this. BVA member and extreme adventure athlete Lonnie Bedwell has conquered still more superhuman, near-impossible feats in his quest, among other things, to climb the highest peaks on all 7 of the world's continents. Flying onto the ice-covered continent of Antarctica on November 27th from Punta Arenas, Chile, he and his Sightless Summits companion, Brian Hill, headed to the Ellsworth Mountains to climb Mount Vinson, the continent's highest peak. That climb occurred December 3rd. After additional preparations and conditioning, they flew on December 9th to the last latitude degree in the world. They disembarked on the polar plateau, nearly 70 miles from the actual South Pole, and set off skiing while pulling a heavy sled. The expedition would take 6 days as they reached their South Pole destination on December 15th. Lonnie flew home from South America in time for the holidays, arriving in Duggar, Indiana on December 22nd. Digital BVA membership card offers. Improved Accessibility and Other Benefits by Teresa Galgano. BVA National Headquarters is pleased to remind you about the availability of the association's digital membership card, which has been available for downloading to your smartphones for the past few months. This digital card is part of ongoing efforts to enhance your membership experience by providing convenient and immediate access to your membership details. The digital membership card offers numerous benefits over traditional physical cards. It is always accessible on your smartphone, ensuring that you have your membership information readily available whenever you need it. This digital format is not only environmentally friendly, but also eliminates the worry of losing or damaging your card. If you haven't yet downloaded your digital membership card, you can do so easily using your smartphone. Please note that this process must be completed on a smartphone and not on a computer. It will work with both an iPhone and an Android. The following information will be helpful in accessing your card. 1. Email instructions. Check your inbox for an email from alerts@museumanywhere.com. This email contains detailed instructions on how to download your digital membership card. Simply follow the steps provided to add the card to your iPhone. 2. QR code. Access. Alternatively, you can visit BVA's membership webpage, https://bva.org/membership. Once there, use your smartphone to scan the QR code displayed on the page. This will guide you through the process of downloading your digital card. 3. Direct link from website. Using your smartphone, open BVA's webpage and follow the instructions for downloading from the website. We encourage all BVA members to take advantage of this convenient digital option. The digital membership card is a testament to BVA's commitment to utilizing technology to better serve our community of blind and low vision veterans. If you have any questions or need assistance with downloading your card, please do not hesitate to reach out to our support team at membership@bva.org or 202-3718880, exterior 330. An unthinkable snow day. A photo is associated with this account of a snow day in Louisiana. 4 gentlemen are seen standing in a snowpack next to a block sign, both tall and wide, that marks Building 14. In smaller letters below are the words, Blind Rehabilitation Center. The photo is a shadowy one from either partial sunlight or overhead spotlights at dusk. One man is pointing his white cane to the snow below to emphasize the unusual nature of a storm that intense in the deep south. The caption states, left to right, alongside BRC sign marker, Louisiana-Mississippi Regional Group members Roger Coleman and Gerald Newman, blinded veteran Tommy Prihoda, and Director of District 1, John O'Connell. The summary of the day reads as follows. January 21st, 2025 will forever be known as an official snow day in southern Mississippi after a record-breaking winter storm dumped 7 inches of snow along the Gulf Coast from Texas to Florida. The icy road conditions and snow accumulation resulted in a 3-day shutdown of the VA Gulf Coast BRC in Biloxi, Mississippi. Several BVA members rode out the once-in-blue moon storm with nurses and staff who were identified as part of the emergency ride-out crew normally implemented for hurricanes, not snowstorms. BVA members were able to complete an orientation and mobility lesson in the snow, in addition to applying to real life the knowledge and training gained from their living skills class, supervised and directed by BRC Chief Deborah Gilley. The veterans even cooked up a hot breakfast for themselves and BRC staff. LA/MS Cooks Off Again presents Braille flag. 2 photos accompany the blurb below. The first shows 2 couples standing side by side behind a table that has a large sign in front of it at the bottom. The sign says, Airborne for the Blind, in uppercase lettering, and the caption reads, Left to Right. Prior to competition, BVA member James Yeager and his wife Tammy, joined by James' brother-in-law Jason Lopez and his wife Tonya. The second photo reveals a man and a woman standing in front of a table. The man holds a white cane and the woman is wearing a cook's apron. Next to them is a table filled with food and utensils. At the back, to the left of the photo subjects, and away from everything else is a BVA banner identifying specifically the Louisiana-Mississippi Regional Group. The caption states, Gary Scholarman and Holly Huval, Breaux Bridge Lions Club, at Cook-Off's BVA information table. The account of the event can be related as follows. On February 8th, members of the BVA Louisiana-Mississippi LAMS Regional Group gathered at Blind Grace, a non-profit organization that holds summer camps for visually impaired children in Lafayette, Louisiana. The occasion was the organization's third annual Gumbo Jambalaya Pastalaya Cook-Off. The event was originally scheduled for January 25th, but due to the rare winter blizzard in southern Louisiana, reported above and in BVA happenings, 10 inches of snow and temperatures down to 4 degrees Fahrenheit, it was postponed until February 8th, when the skies were clear and temperatures reached 80 degrees. For the second year in a row, members of LA/MS BVA Regional Group entered teams in the cook-off. There were 4 teams that included LAMS members: BVA member Francis Arsenault, his wife Lynette, daughter Linda, and her husband; BVA member Gary Scholarman, his wife Morel, and Holly Huval with the Breaux Bridge Lions Club; BVA member James Yeager, his wife Tammy, his brother-in-law Jason Lopez, and the latter's wife Tonya, who together are professional cook-off contestants traveling throughout the state competing in various events; and LA/MS Secretary Shantina Gibson, her friend who is a professional chef at one of Lafayette's popular restaurants, and many friends from the Lafayette Lions Club. In 2024, the LAMS teams took first and third place, but unfortunately this year the same teams were shut out, even though some brought in professional ringers, said Gary Scholarman. The teams all thought they had finished fourth, and James thought he had won the People's Choice, mainly because he bribed more people than Shantina, but they lost out to an exotic jambalaya with squirrel meat and pineapple. According to Gary, despite not placing in the top 4 this year, the contestants had a great time and vowed to be back next year to win. The LA/MS banners, the bronze and acrylic braille flags, and BVA brochures attracted many of the visitors and other contestants. Everyone was fascinated by the braille flags, but the question asked most was how blind people cook gumbo over an open flame, said Gary. Of course, we answered that it is done very carefully. During the awards ceremony, BVA members presented an acrylic flag and plaque to the Affiliated Blind of Louisiana, a residential blind rehabilitation center located in Lafayette. Directors Siobhan and Lynn Blanchard were there to accept the flag. Many of the LAMS regional group members are alumni of ABL. The flag was sponsored by the Breaux Bridge Lions Club, the Vietnam Veterans of America Lafayette, Chapter 162, and the BVA Regional Group. One of the cook-off visitors came by with his daughter and wanted to meet the veterans with sight loss because he is a Vietnam veteran and losing his sight, said Gary. He was given the number of the BROS, Blind Rehabilitation Outpatient Specialist, and will join BVA as soon as he can. Gardening Group enjoys. Successful spring run. An accompanying graphic image provides the 5-week meeting schedule for the Spring Gardening Interest Group. It includes an embedded smiling photo of facilitator Monique Statham with vegetation that has grown from her feet to almost waist-high. There is no graphic caption. The brief entry reads, "The spring series of the Gardening Interest Group facilitated by Monique Statham reached full bloom in late April and early May. The virtual Monday evening sessions, open to all blind and visually impaired veterans, began April 14th and continued until May 12th. The focus of the hour-long sessions was planting seeds, preparing the gardening areas in the ground and in containers, and the growing and harvesting process. Recent VA whole health research supports the value of gardening in improving sleep, creating social connections, and elevating one's spirit. Did you know?" On August 6, 1955, at the BVA 10th National Convention in New York City, the association unanimously passed a resolution condemning a growing movement to set aside portions of public gardens as special fragrance gardens for the blind. The resolution came in reaction to a forceful reaction from National Chaplain Thomas J. Carroll in his annual address to the BVA membership. Among other things, Father Carroll said that the picture, admittedly my own, of the group of the blind leaving the busy, hard-smelling world of their fellows to go off and bask in the tropically heavy perfume of their own scented nirvana, is a little more than I can take. The resolution echoed the national chaplain's sentiments by stating that the promotion of so-called fragrance gardens for the blind is inextricably involved with a false and cloying sentimentality, whose publicity implements the false notion of many that blind persons live in some nebulous world, different from their own, and that such emotional miseducation can set back many years the movement to integrate blind persons into sighted society. Auxiliaries View by Debbie Frick. As is customary, this issue's Auxiliaries View comes accompanied by a thumbnail, shoulder-length depiction of Debbie. There is no caption. Her column offers the following. Hello again from the BVA Auxiliary Reporter. It's hard to believe the old year is gone and a new year is here. Equally difficult to believe is that almost a year has passed since our last national convention, and another one is now upon us. I never thought I was an anxious young adult, but it seems I have become used to being a semi-anxious old person. Things continue to roll for me, and I hope they are rolling for you too. The Auxiliary Scholarship Committee has opened up the Renee Feldman Scholarship Program. BVAA awards 3 scholarships per academic year, 2 for $2,000 and 1 for $1,500 made in 2 installments, fall-spring. Applicants must be a spouse or a generational child, grandchild, great-grandchild, of a blinded veteran who is or has been a BVA member. The BVAA scholarship is open to full-time students in an accredited vocational and/or technical school, community college, or university. Applicants are responsible for ensuring that the required transcripts, documents, 300-word essay, and letters of reference reach the committee chairperson by May 1st of each year. At press time of the bulletin, the deadline had already passed for this year, but please keep that date at the forefront of your memory for future years. You can access the information on the BVA website in the BVAA section. Our town hall meetings continue to provide members with up-to-date information and help keep us connected to each other. Our January meeting noted a VA caregiver support program that can be a valuable resource for the veteran and caregiver. Karen Knappenberger provided an overall view of the nationwide programs. Their mission is to promote the health and well-being of family caregivers through education, resources, support, and services. You can access this program at caregiver.va.gov. Aspects of the program include peer support, mentoring skills training, coaching, phone support, online programs, and referral to resources. The first program, Finding Important Resources, Support, and Training, focuses on building better caregiver organizations. There is a learning library and an automated text message service to assist families in keeping connection with their care plans. Ms. Knappenberger's advice is to reach out to the VA facility team and have your provider put in for a consultation. Another town hall meeting included 3 panelists: Casey Ebert, owner of Mason Wells Day Spa and Massage Therapy, Chip Newman from Midwest Battle Buddies, Service Dogs, and Valerie Bledsoe, who is a master herbalist. All provided amazing information from their respective fields. I started writing this article back on January 20th, Inauguration and Martin Luther King Day. I may not be super informed on politics, nor do I always have opinions similar to those of my friends and family. I do, however, embrace the choices I have regarding my responses to news and my political and religious differences with others. I try to keep an open mind and try to accept others' points of views. May we all find joy in this wonderful country of ours. Veteran Service Program Update by Dwayne Driscoll. Dwayne's usual thumbnail photo accompanies his write-up for this issue. There is no written caption with the photo. His article begins as follows. What is a clear and unmistakable error? Many of the claims submitted by the VSP go very smoothly because we employ a strategy of presenting fully developed claims with supporting evidence whenever possible. However, the decision-makers at VA still get it wrong sometimes, especially when it comes to special monthly compensation, SMC, and ancillary benefits entitlement related to vision loss. A clear and unmistakable error, CU, exists when the agency of original jurisdiction, AOJ, commits an error of fact or law in the rating decision. An error of fact means the decision maker failed to consider all the evidence of record. For example, when service connection is denied for lack of treatment in service, we look in the service treatment records and find all kinds of complaints and treatment for the issue while serving on active duty. The AOJ did not get the facts right in this scenario, causing an erroneous decision. In vision loss claims, errors of law are much more common. An error of law means the decision maker failed to properly apply the laws and regulations surrounding disability compensation claims. For example, 6 different levels of SMC may be assigned due to blindness, depending upon the level of vision loss: K, L, L1/2, M, M1/2, and N. With additional service connection for hearing or extremity loss, the SMC increases substantially. Comorbid but separate disabilities rated 50 or 100% can also increase the SMC further. Amazingly, even seasoned decision-makers at VA have a hard time getting this right. When a rating error happens, we have several options depending on how long ago the error occurred. If fewer than 30 days, we can request a Claims Accuracy Review, or CAR. This is the very best time to catch an error because the AOJ usually addresses these requests in a timely fashion. When the error is more than 30 days old, but less than 1 year, we request Higher Level Review, HLR, which is the first step toward an appeal if we cannot get the issue resolved at the local level. Our request for HLR based on CUE goes into the queue with all of the other requests for review that are not related to rating errors. We generally expect a good outcome with an HLR based on CUE because the regulations are undeniable and it's easy to show entitlement when it exists under the law, but it may take a little longer than a CAR. What if the error is greater than 1 year old? Rating decisions become final after 1 year if not disputed. However, the law allows for correction of historical rating errors. In these cases, we must request revision, and there is no time limit. VA has a long history of SMC rating errors. Please contact the VSP for a file review to ensure that your vision loss is rated correctly. Ways to Give New and Old by Meredith Buono de Grossa. Meredith's thumbnail image, without caption, accompanies her regular column as follows. Development strategies are always a priority throughout the year, and even more so as BVA commemorates 80 years of service this year. Our mission of providing these services and benefits to blind and low-vision veterans, their families, and caregivers remains at the forefront. Critical priorities are revenue generation, stewardship of donors and stakeholders, and building awareness. Strong focus on donation strategies, corporate partnership engagement, and new initiatives are critical to the future of BVA. I thought I would share a few examples of these focuses with you. Monthly givers, BVA visionaries. BVA visionaries are an exceptional group of engaged donors who contribute monthly to BVA. These recurring gifts allow for a continuous stream of revenue and more engaged donors. A star-tiered system has been implemented to engage and recognize monthly givers. In March, lapel pins were provided to BVA visionaries to recognize their commitment to our blind and low-vision veterans. Corporate partnerships. Our corporate partnership program with year-round benefits has been successful in the acquisition and retention of corporate partners and sponsors. This system has allowed more annual engagement and relationship building with our partners. Free Will Planned CHA Smart Giving. In December, BVA partnered with Free Will, an accessible and user-friendly platform with charitable giving software, a customized portal, and a dedicated partner service team committed to planned and smart giving success. The platform will allow BVA to raise more impactful gifts such as bequests, DAFS donor-advised funds, stocks, crypto, and IRAs. Microsites are now live on bva.org and provide educational tools and resources for special donors who include BVA in their legacy giving. BVA Store. A new BVA store launched earlier this year with Will Enterprises has been historically successful. Will Enterprises offers the site, a graphic artist, bulk pricing, and a wider variety of merchandise for shoppers at competitive prices. The store has increased sales and awareness, and it has generated a new source of revenue. National Convention. As we giddy up and get ready for the 80th BVA National Convention at the Hyatt Regency in Dallas, Texas, the excitement and camaraderie continues to build. The convention committee has been hard at work planning a world-class exhibit hall with emerging technologies, whole health activities, memorable off-site trips, an 80th Texas BBQ, a hospitality suite hosted by the Greater Houston Regional Group, business meetings, and the Popular Bow Wow Lounge sponsored by our friends at Waymo. Convention has always been an unforgettable gathering of BVA families, friends, and caregivers, and this year promises to be the best yet. I encourage those that have attended in the past to join us again from July 5th to 11th, 2025. For those who are attending for the first time, welcome to the family. Special thanks to our judge advocate Stephen Butler for writing the lyrics and music for our very own line dance, the BVA Boot Shuffle. Slip on your cowboy boots, grab your white canes, and meet us in Dallas. Yippee-ki-yay BVA, the BVA Boot Shuffle, by Stephen Butler, National Judge Advocate. Song lyrics for the BVA Boot Shuffle. Music to be introduced at the 80th National Convention. Verse 1. Tap your heel now, 1 and 2. Switch it left now, just like new. Move that toe out, slide it wide, bring it home now, side to side. Chorus. It's the BVA Boot Shuffle. Step real slow. Move to the rhythm. Let's go, let's go. Stomp your boots, 1 and 2. Clap your hands, that's all you do. Verse 2. Heel and tap. Now feel the beat. Toes go left, then toes go right. Stomp 2 times and take it easy. Clap your hands, now smile and breathe. Final chorus, repeat and fade out. It's the BVA Boot Shuffle, easy as can be. Step to the music, move those feet. Veterans dancing, having fun. Line up, partner, we're not done. It's the BVA Boot Shuffle, easy as can be. Step to the music, move those feet. Veterans dancing, having fun. Line up, partner, we're not done. Copyright 2025 Stephen Butler. All rights reserved. American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. Wellness at 95. Your Powerful Brain and Exercise. By Pascal Bauta. A thumbnail image of Pascal accompanies his article on how to experience a happier and healthier lifestyle. There is no descriptive caption. The article begins with the following. How can I train my brain to become sharper and live happier and healthier? Few of us today know how our brain works, so we have no idea how it can help or hurt us, increase or decrease our wellness. Such valuable information is taught hardly anywhere anymore, even in Virginia mental health circles as far as I can tell. According to our U.S. Surgeon General, we are in an epidemic both of loneliness and depression. I believe we also have an epidemic of grudge holding. This involves the possession of hostile feelings, anger, hurt, and blaming, being unaware that we create and prolong them. Pent-up angry feelings bear directly on loneliness and depression. Indeed, it may be the actual source of much of our mistrust. Understanding how our brain works is a huge help in dealing with this epidemic. Do we know, for example, how our brain tends first to grab the negative, regularly and universally? What is fascinating is that we can strengthen the left part of our observing brain to be less reactive, less negative, and more focused, while at the same time growing new brain cells. We can take better charge of our health, our moods, indeed, our determination and resilience by regular cardiovascular exercise. The following facts are critical in helping us change. 1. Regular cardiovascular exercise, RCVE, strengthens and reinforces a stronger sense of self. 2. RCVE adds to our brain's gray matter, hence better observant reasoning. 3. RCVE strengthens our ability to monitor our reactive brains, which means better control of fear and negative feelings. 4. RCVE takes full charge of our whole self, allowing us to become the captain of our own ships. 5. RCVE makes us happier, stimulating our happy hormones. 6. RCVE refreshes all the organs of our bodies to stimulate new cell growth. From the Mayo Clinic and Harvard, and affirmed by the National Institutes of Health. Regular physical activity can improve muscle strength and boost endurance. It sends oxygen and nutrients to the tissues and helps the cardiovascular system work more efficiently. It helps to maintain healthy blood pressure, keeps harmful plaque from building up in the arteries, reduces inflammation, improves blood sugar levels, strengthens bones, and helps stave off depression. In short, there is no more important drug for wellness and longevity than RCVE. My context: in the U.S. military, I had 3 careers: military occupational specialties, sports manager, chaplain, and psychologist. Aided by an awesome wife, I have done distance running, swam, water skied, or snow skied all my adult life, the latter of which we did in 6 countries and 10 states over a 30-year period. We stopped only when we reached our 80s. Of note, beware of job scams. Targeting veterans, VSOS. A graphic image at the beginning conveys the message that this blurb is about avoiding job scams. The image contains the wording, how to spot them online, and tips to avoid them. Specific advice is provided in the following. BVA is dedicated to safeguarding the well-being of its members. Accordingly, a recent trend has created a particular concern, that of job scams targeting veterans. These scams are designed to exploit the trust and dedication of those who have served our country, and it is crucial to stay informed to protect yourself and your loved ones. Scammers often pose as legitimate employers or recruiters, offering enticing job opportunities that seem too good to be true. They may contact you via email, phone, or social media, claiming to have found your resume online or through a veteran's job board, or they may falsely advertise on platforms such as LinkedIn, a position that does not exist. These fraudulent offers sometimes require personal information or upfront fees for training or equipment without even an interview. Requests like these are red flags. Additionally, be wary of scams involving checks. Some scammers may send you a check as part of a job offer, asking you to deposit it and then wire a portion of the money back for equipment or other expenses. These checks are typically fake, and you could be held responsible for the entire amount once the bank realizes the fraud. To protect yourself from these scams, consider the following tips. 1. Verify the employer. Research the company independently. Check their official website and contact them directly using verified contact information to confirm the job offer's legitimacy. 2. Be wary of upfront fees and checks. Legitimate employers will not ask for money for training, equipment, or background checks. Be cautious if asked to pay any fees or if you receive a check with instructions to wire money back. 3. Protect personal information. Do not share sensitive information such as your social security number or bank details until you have verified the employer's legitimacy. 4. Trust your instincts. If something feels off or too good to be true, your feelings are probably valid. Trust your instincts and proceed with caution. If you suspect that you have encountered a job scam, report it immediately to the Federal Trade Commission at https://reportfraud.ft.gov or contact your local VA office for assistance. BVA is committed to supporting our blind and low vision veterans and their families in all aspects of their lives, including employment. By staying informed and vigilant, we can protect ourselves and our community from these harmful scams. Stay safe and reach out if you need support or guidance. Revisiting the VA Auto Grant. Veterans may be eligible for second grant. BVA reported 2 years ago on an enhanced transportation benefit for disabled veterans. Based on a handful of recent inquiries, many new association members, and more readers of BVA happenings than ever before, the topic deserves to be revisited and re-emphasized. Prior to early 2023, VA offered a one-time single-use automobile grant to those who needed to buy a specially adapted vehicle outright. But this all changed with passage of the Advancing Uniform Transportation Opportunities for Veterans AUTO Act of 2023. Prior to 2023, multiple grants were available to add special adaptive equipment, but when it came to buying an already adapted vehicle, the offer was limited to a single grant. The most important changes that occurred with the Auto Act of 2023 Concern those who have used the grant before and the timing of the grant. Specifically, the changes are these. Disabled veterans who have received an automobile grant in the past can receive it a second or even a third time. Disabled veterans may apply for an automobile grant once every 10 years, but there is a phase-in period for this enhanced benefit. Disabled veterans who have used a vehicle grant before but have not done so in the past 30 years are eligible for Anther grant. The wait period for receiving the second grant expires in 2032. For example, if you used the grant in 2017, you would be eligible after 15 years rather than 30. Qualifying for the grant as a veteran with sight loss comes with decreased vision in both eyes and 2200 vision or less in the better eye with glasses, or greater than 2200 vision but with a visual field defect that has reduced peripheral vision to 20 degrees or less in the better eye. Additional information about eligibility for a vehicle grant and how to apply, including access to the appropriate forms, is available at https://www.vea.gov/disability/eligibility/special claims/automobile allowance adaptive equipment. Learn the essence of whole health. Develop plans for making it a way of life. Whole health is about us as a whole person and what matters most to us, not just what is the matter with us when our health is less than perfect. BVA members, their families, and their VA care teams can develop a plan based on their priorities for their health. These may include moving around more, sleeping better, or waking up with less pain. Explore those priorities now by viewing an overview video at https://www.va.gov/wholehealth. Get involved, get started. ASP and looking over additional instructional materials on how to get started. Then, embark on that life-changing whole health journey. In remembrance, Alabama, R.G. Benny Corley, Leo Fox, Jack Kinley, Daniel Kinsey, James Lehman, Owen Lyles, Jimmy McCary, David Nicholson, Mike Pistachio, Charles Swan, Kathleen Wilkowski, Arkansas R.G., Donald Bray, James Edwards, Wesley Hearson, George Holt, Billy Howell, Donald Murphy, Otis Waymack, Cape Cod and Islands, Earl Caudle, Edward Sarrow, Carolina R.G., Rudolph Batts, Donald Bringenberg, Albert Clark, Harvey Cranfill, Gregory Dalen, James Dixon, Bobby Dockham, Willie Gaskins, Elijah Grant, Clyde Guyton, William Hightower, Sylvester Holmes, Norman Hewlin, Herman Jernigan, Val Kirk, Thomas Link, Jerry Mingo, Samuel Nelson, Don Pace, Rush Richardson, Percy Saunders, Billy Underwood, Jose Vasquez, Raymond Weaver, Charles Register, R.G., Douglas George, Joseph Hines, Ray Rivera, Arthur Stilwell, Ken Sulcer, Florida R.G. George Adam, Edward Addison, Herbert Anderson, Lawrence Baker, Hoover Ballard, Benjamin Barnhart, John Barricato, Irwin Baumel, Lawrence Belland, Winfield Bennett, Arthur Bentley, William Bivens, Weldon Boggs, Jack Belinsky, Carol Bristol, Thomas Brown, James Bryant, Henry Bucher, William Burden, James Burns, Ernest Buser, Robert Butler, Robert Caldwell, Norman Chartier, Michael Clavin, Clara Cleland, Samuel Concilio, Willis Corne, Claude Cushman, Wilbur Davidson, Donald Franklin, Isaiah Haas, Sally Hollis, Carlos Jones, Martin Kutniak, James Lacey, Eugene Leonard, Carl Leonberger, Twyman Lineberger, Peter Lovett, Nelson Marvin, Vincent Macetta, Carmine Massey, James McCoy, Howard Petroff, Numa Pillion, Walter Pleasance, Glenn Poley, Robert Rinzel, Henry River, John Sutu, Amel Thomas, Donald Thornburg, Thomas Trout, Charlie Van, Virginia Vogel, Mabel Wangler, John Warrant, Wilbur Webb, Dwight Wiggum, William Whitaker, Reuben Williams, Charles Worthen, James Yancey, John Zook, Forward, Wisconsin, R.G., David Buchholz, Irvin Huber, Ronald Kennedy, Jerome Radka, Frank Rowe, Michael Smith, Dale Story, Carl Walrath, Luther Williams, Alois Zollner, Georgia R.G., Paul Halpern, Horace Hayes, Greater Houston R.G., Richard Romulo, Heartland R.G., Richard Auernheimer, Robert Beach, Ronald Chalicum, Edward Clark, Cleotha Clay, Lenville Comstock, Patrick Conrad, Robert Darling, Melvin Ellison, James Hare, Paul Henry, Robert Howell, Burris Jones, Myron Larimore, Arland Lester, Dwight McCarty, John McGuigan, Donald Merrick, Earl Rogers, Gerald Ross, Milton Sharp, John Smith, Harold Stanton, Oscar Stevenson, Illinois, R.G. Eugene Baltz, William Kretz, John Marsala, Louis Paris, Vito Petruzzelli, Arthur Schutz, Louisiana, Mississippi, R.G. Thomas Hatton, Samuel Kirsch, Eric Rogers, Carl Tudor, Michigan R.G., George Buriak, John Bushaw, Russell Kusumano, George Haley, Arnold Kjosnes, Theodore McClintock, Raymond Parzich, Harold Schlipp, Midwest North, R.G., William Chukna, Wanda Kaveen, Jack Levold, Lillian Lowry, James Lyman, Jerome Lyman, Leonard Mathis, Lloyd Miller, Bill Meller, Henry Prottengeyer, Floyd Randall, Jerry Ratcliffe, Thomas Swedzinski, New Jersey R.G., Juan Ayala, Nathaniel Gatlin, Stephen Lisevsky, Hyman Silverstein, Timrod Stevens, Eugene Toback, Herman Weiss, Kenneth Wolstenholme, New York R.G., Francis Alex, Vincent Argiro, Frank Bianco, John Boyd, William Fugali, Ernest Hilton, Gaspar Ingracia, Ohio R.G., Michael Boxke, Donald Reyes, John Sanger, Harrison Weems, Peter Zimmer, Oklahoma R.G., George Bicknell, Michael Braswell, Richard Kane, James Chandler, Marlon Hennig, Michael Johnson, James Lassiter, Gerald Madsen, Jimmy Rogers, Pennsylvania, R.G., Kent Anderson, Robert Bailey, William Ballard, John Brune, Charles Buzen, Santo Calcagnetti, Albert Cataldo, Donald Davis, John Dewink, Joseph Elliott, George Evancho, James Flagg, Gerard Genevieve, Robert Getchman, Eugene Good, John Gregory, John Hale, Jack Henry, Ralph Hoover, Burton Johnson, George Johnson, Joseph Jordan, Irvin Keithley, Elwood Kistner, Walter Kosa, David Krause, James Lenhart, Donald Manning, Francis Marinko, Lawrence Mealy, Walter Morgan, Alan Morrison, Gordon Myers, Jay Milan, William Nobles, Richard Pearsall, Michael Rada, Herbert Rose, Richard Schell, David Sprenkle, Gary Tillman, William Weiler, James Yakonis, John Yurkovich, Puerto Rico, Eric G., David Mojica Negron, Victor Roque Vicens, R.I. and S.E. Mass R.G. Placido Femino, Sumner Morse, Anthony Pallotta, Anthony Ricci, Rocky Mountain R.G., Lauren Ludwig, Southern California R.G., Harold Goldfarb, Colin Jones, Ralph Pell, South Texas R.G., Eleazar Davila, William Lehman, Washington, R.G. Alvin Bradley, Richard Houseman, at large. BVA members, no regional group affiliation. William Alt, Brent Baldry, Norberto Ballin, Charles Beasley, Harold Blair, Raymond Bauder, Camille Boyer, Tony Cardoza, Roland Castonguay, Rafael Diaz, Dan Dufer, William Getson Danner, Jim Keller, Ramona Livernois, Albert Luedka, Michael Pavlich, Virgil Reading, Joseph Ribeiro, Steve Sees, Louis Sheridan. Final thought. The accompanying photo reveals a lady and gentleman standing together, both smiling. Because it is only a half-length photo, the lady is holding up a convention bag with her right hand for full view of the camera. The White House in Washington, D.C. is seen in the distant background. The final thought reads as follows. BVA Convention, Volunteer Coordinator. Margarine Beeman first became involved with ACB national conventions in 1982, posting Braille and large print numbers on each floor. She also placed Braille letters on vending machines, guest room doors, restaurant menus, and in restrooms. In the late 1980s, BVA National Treasurer at the time and active ACB member Carl Foley went to his fellow BVA board members with a petition. BVA needs this lady. So, in 1990, Margarine began at the 45th National Convention at the Kennedy Plaza Hotel in Providence, Rhode Island, what is now a run of 35 consecutive years of dedicated assistance to blinded veterans and their families. Pictured with Freddie Edwards, Indiana Regional Group and then Director of District 2, near the White House in 2010, 65th National Convention, Margarine has remained with BVA through thick and thin. Her voice will be the first many BVA members here in early July as she coordinates volunteer efforts with both the veterans of BVA and attendees of the ACB National Convention.